Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 15th annual Mario Kart race, where competitors get blown up by bombs, struck by lightning from above, and smashed by heat-seeking turtle shells, all to get that gold trophy. Now before we start our Grand Prix, let's take a look at our starting lineup of racers.
Mario! Luigi! Bowser!
I'm in Mario Kart 2 now. Wait, do these things not have seatbelts on them? Let's start with the character who the whole game is named after, Super Luigi. Mario, of course. Mario is the first character to ever be introduced into Mario Kart, and is actually just kind of mid in my opinion, because like, who actually plays as base Mario, and as a matter of fact, who even plays as base Luigi? My bad, bro, it's not that serious, I'm sorry. Being a princess is tough work, and sometimes even Peach needs to unwind, with an entire bottle of champagne, of course. I get a celebratory drink every now and then, but this just teeters on alcoholism. However, after an angry letter from the ESRB, Peach learned the error of her ways. Introduced in the first Mario Kart, Peach is of course going to be part of the main cast, and this time at least she isn't getting kidnapped. Are you a victim of workplace harassment?
Huh?
Getting thrown by your giant turtle boss to try to win a silly race? Well then, you may be entitled to workers' compensation. Yeah! Bowser was introduced in the original Super Mario Kart and has since gone on to throw his entire workforce at his opponents. And again, yes, these are actually live Koopa Troopas. Are you a victim of domestic violence? Being thrown by your brothers and sisters, all to win a silly race? Well then, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Koopa Troopa was introduced in the original Super Mario Kart game before going on sick leave following the trauma of constant sudden lightning strikes. It took multiple games for the Koopas to recover, and I don't think they ever truly did. The trauma still haunts them. After waiting hours at the DMV, even Yoshi can get their license and join in on the fun. They'll give anyone a license in this universe, huh? We will get to them later, but first I need a well-deserved banana break. If you've ever wondered how they get all these bananas inside of these item crates, it's because they were originally snacks for all the racers until Donkey Kong Jr. got to them first, and the rest is history. Arguably the most forgotten character in all of Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Jr. went through a much needed upgrade by Mario Kart 64, dropping the Jr. and just becoming Donkey Kong. Now that Donkey Kong decided to stop monkeying around and go real hard on driving school, both him and his banana have grown.
Huh?
No, seriously, look at the size of that thing. Why is Nintendo just making everything bigger now? I mean, just look at the Switch 2 reveal. Look at how they massacred my boy. Well, at least Toad is still in the game. This Mushroom of Madness is a prime example of an average driver in New York City, with all of his screaming, yelling, getting out of the car to assert dominance. This fun-filled fun guy is what I think of when I need to drive to the grocery store. Toad first appeared in Super Mario Kart, but keeps being brought into prison after each race, following the offense of driving under the influence of hallucinogens. Which, to be fair, he can't really control that because, again, he's a, fun guy. Speaking of Toads, we can't forget to mention Toadette, the better and more annoying version of Toad.
Huh?
And I swear it has nothing to do with Toadette being a girl. It's the cooties. After hearing that the entire Mario cast was illegally trespassing and racing on his mountain, gold mine, stadium, coliseum, and shipyard, wow, that is a lot of businesses, Wario has had enough and decides to enter the race. Not to win, however, but to do everything he can to hurt them. Which wraps me into an interesting question. What is Wario's net worth? This dude can run multiple successful businesses, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can make a flower shop successful. Well, at least I'm employed now. You know the phrase of stop and smell the roses? Well, if you change that for daisies, it becomes a personal favorite of Princess Daisy, as she leaves you in the dust, where you can only smell the gasoline coming out of her car, as she somehow gets first place. Daisy was first introduced in Double Dash as a partner for Peach, along many other characters, including Birdo. That is just a dinosaur that can also shoot eggs out of its mouth, which really isn't that special because even I can do that. After the first Koopa Troopa returned from his sick leave, he wanted a friend to race with in the Double Dash series of games, which is how we ended up with Paratroopa. He is a Koopa that is red and can fly. Unfortunately though, the trauma of 37 separate lightning strikes to the head was too much for Paratroopa, and unfortunately, he has not made it to any other game since. Fly high, my friend. You've earned it. Let's talk about Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong actually makes the most sense being here, seeing as how he already had his own racing game and collab characters like Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day. Probably a good thing he doesn't associate with Conker anymore. I heard a rumor that the parties that they hosted together back in the day, Conker kept naming the parties after Diddy Kong, and I can imagine you're starting to pick up the issue of a party being named after Diddy Kong. So, Diddy Kong was introduced in the Double Dash series of games to be a companion for Donkey Kong, being the best uncle and nephew duo the world has ever seen. Speaking of confusing family matters, Bowser Jr. This toddler really had a tough upbringing. He spent years trying to do everything he could to make his father proud, and felt that winning a Grand Prix was the way to do it. And of course, Bowser was a proud papa, and his mother, well, we still don't know who that actually is yet. Mama Miyamoto. Finally, after years of waiting, Waluigi got into a major spin-off game that did not involve sports. And no, it was not Smash Bros. Waluigi first joined the race in Mario Kart Double Dash, being a partner for his brother, I think, Wario. However, Nintendo clearly has a favor of the two, seeing as it took Waluigi 3 games to be joined with Wario. His chances of joining Smash Bros get thinner by the day. Speaking of another character that will never join Smash Bros, that is a plant! Are there any other racers who can't easily drive a car? That is a skeleton! This thing has been dead for years, yet still yearns for glory. And I guess you can put the argument that it's using its leg bones to push the pedals, and technically it still is alive in some sort, but at what point is it just a ghost inhabiting a dead body? And I mean, seriously, I doubt that Mario Kart will allow ghosts to drive. That is a ghost with no legs. Next thing you're going to tell me is that King Boo is using magic to drive the car, which is cheating in my opinion, but fine argument, I'll allow it. However, if I see a Goomba driving a go-kart in the next Mario Kart game, I will lose it. This thing only has legs, it has no arms. How is a Goomba gonna drive a go-kart? Who even needs a soul anymore when you are literally a robot? This is Rob, or as I like to call him, racing optimally. But I can't think any more B words. Surely being a literal robot is a violation of some sort. He has auto driving. It's like putting a Corolla next to a Tesla and watching them race. My money is still on the Corolla, by the way, because self-driving cars still suck. If you were the only kid that had a physical copy of Mario Kart on the DS, you are well aware of the terror of getting bombarded by an armada of Shy Guys when you play with your friends who didn't have a copy, of course, thanks to DS Shared Played. Or you don't know what I'm talking about because you had no friends. Like me. Does anybody want to play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk with me? Yes, I know this is a single player game, however, it's a great game and you should go play it. If you ever get hit by Baby Peach while driving, it's an accident because she was too busy playing with her iPad. However, if you're ever hit by Baby Daisy, it was fully intentional. She craves violence, and the only thing that satisfies her is bumping your car into the abyss of space. Funky Kong was a professional speedrunner and quite frankly might be doping. Funky Kong was first introduced in Mario Kart Wii and instantly became the most popular Mario Kart character of all time. Somehow a mixture of the perfect weight, speed, and aesthetic. Funky Kong is perfect, unlike me. The Mii was probably one of the funniest additions in Mario Kart history, as you can now put anyone in the game and race with them, with playable characters such as yourself, Batman, Burger, Abomination. Even more interesting is that on some of the tracks, they would actually change the decorations into decorations of your Mii instead, and that was just a really cool detail. not as cool as this racket going on. Where is this music coming from? Don't you just hate it when you're stopped at a traffic light and the guy next to you is blasting My Chemical Romance with his windows down and trunk open? Well, that is Dry Bowser. He is Bowser, but when cereal halves no milk. Wait, what does this mean for the timeline? Are there now two versions of Bowser and one is dead and one is not? Are they actually the same Bowser but in a different timeline? I have no idea, but all I do know is that I prefer my cereal the Milky Way, which brings us to space. How am I breathing? Saving the Mushroom Kingdom was not enough for Mario, and so he decided to turn his sights to space, where he met space waifu Rosalina. Rosalina was the first character introduced in Mario Kart Wii alongside her Luma. Mario Galaxy was extremely successful, so of course Rosalina was going to make it into the next Mario Kart game. And speaking of Mario Galaxy characters, that is just a bee! On the topic of insects, does having extra limbs actually help you in a race? Because when characters like Wiggler are driving around in Mario Kart, I'm actually not sure if it's actually an advantage or a disadvantage. It doesn't really matter for Wiggler though, because regardless, he is going to get as angry as possible while driving. And fall off the map eventually. After years of watching you constantly fall off Rainbow Road and being forced to rescue you, Lakitu has had enough and decided to show all of you that it's not that hard to drive. Never mind. Lakitu is almost a mascot of the franchise, with him being the rescuer, officiator, and starting lights of the race, as well as cameraman. Seriously, he does everything in these games. Not content with just running over one of his children, Bowser invited all of his adopted kids to the race, and I genuinely cannot remember any of their names. I know this one is Ludwig because I like his hair and I like his style, and I want to see a baby photo of him. Speaking of babies, what is Nintendo's obsession with baby characters? We've already got Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, but now we get baby Rosalina? Where's baby Yoshi? Never mind, keep that thing away from me. Instead, I want baby Bowser from the Yoshi's Island games. What do you get when you mix a Nintendo character with a Tanuki? Probably Tom Nook, but you can also get Tanuki Mario. A long forgotten power-up of Mario finally gets his chance in the spotlight again. And like the other Marios in game already, who actually plays as his character? Alright, I'll admit it, I actually kind of like Tanuki Mario, but I just feel like they should have given him a more relevant power-up like the cat suit from the 3D World games. Looks like Peach already got to one. Mario has to be one of the most inclusive franchises ever. They made Peach into a furry, because of course, nothing feels better than the inside of a cat. Don't look at me like that, Nintendo said it first. Are you tired of your princess getting kidnapped by a super powerful being, forced to travel across a vast kingdom to rescue her from deep inside of a castle? Well, this is what Link has been dealing with for over 39 years. Link was first introduced as DLC in Mario Kart 8, and it brings up an extremely important question. Are you just like allowed to bring outside weapons to a race now? You know that guy you somehow always get stuck behind on the highway doing 20 miles below the speed limit? Yep, that's the villager, cranking their home improvement podcast while zooming away at 30 miles an hour. Another Animal Crossing character joining the race is Isabelle. Taking a break from her murderous rampage through hell, Isabelle has gone for a nice, calm, leisurely drive. They're a squid now, they're a kitten now, who absolutely should not be driving a car. I don't even care anymore. Anyways, it's thanks to the inkling that we can actually get beta footage of what the driving will look like in GTA 6. And if you take a look right here, you can see that we have driving and a gun. And well, it's still beta footage, so just like imagine they're robbing a jewelry store. Uh-oh. Looking to buy some jewelry for your significant other in life? Well, might I recommend the metal encased Italian plumber. And if that's not enough for you, we also have them in gold. And if that's not your style, we have a pink gold encased princess. However, do not drive with any of these as they are all extremely heavy, easily over 1,000 pounds. I did the math. On the topic of pretty pink princesses, we have Peachette. Literally just Toadette with the crown. Yeah, I have nothing else to add to that. But do you actually think we're gonna get Bowsette in the next Mario Kart game? Listen, people keep claiming that if Nintendo wants the Switch 2 to sell well, we're gonna need more waifus. But you know what I think we actually need more of? Wizards! And that is where Kamek comes in. Or is it Magic Koopa? I have no idea, they keep changing the two. Kamek's magical abilities allow him to do all sorts of things, like summon fire, summon enemies, and of course, play the piano. It has all come full circle. The first character ever introduced to Mario franchise was Pauline. She is the one kidnapped by Donkey Kong. And finally, after her popularity in Mario Odyssey, she was given the respect she deserves and was added to Mario Kart. Just 40 years later, of course. But wait, did you think I would forget about the Mario Kart arcade machines? Oh, these things were the best. You could take selfies and give yourself a Mario hat and everything. And the one character that I like to play as was Pac-Man. What? Believe it or not, before the days of Pac-Man and Smash Bros, he was already in an officially licensed Mario Kart game, which I just think is pretty cool. And there goes his wife. Now where would Pac-Man be without his iconic rival, Blinky the Ghost? Now how does this one drive a car? On the topic of arcade-only characters, we have Don-chan. He is a sentient taiko drum with arms and legs, and I love him. Nintendo, please bring back Don-chan from Mario Kart 9. That's all I ask. I need my son. This is Mamechi from the Tamagotchi. What? But wait, what's this? I'm hearing reports that there are some stragglers entering the race, and they're full of microtransactions. Ladies and gentlemen, run for your lives, as these are all of the Mario Kart Tour characters, and they are speeding away into your wallet. And there goes Monty Mole, an annoying mole that lives in an airship, because that makes total sense. Oh, and here comes the Fire Bro, the Ice Bro, the Boomerang Bro, and the Hammer Bro. More bros in a frat house, I guess. And oh my gosh, is that Dixie Kong? I love her. Why is she in a mobile game? Was that Captain Toad from the infamous game Captain Toad Treasure Tracker? It's okay, I didn't play it either.
Well, it looks like Nabbit the Rabbit just kidnapped me, and I have no idea what's going on outside.
It's a good thing that was just a hyper-realistic version of me. I also can't help but notice, but there is a sudden uprise of penguins sliding upon the racecourse, and nothing can catch them. Except when NASCAR collabs with the NFL, of course. And conveniently enough, there is now a group of doctors heading their way towards a giant crash, because everyone from Mario Kart Tour are just costume swaps and power-ups. Is that the dog from Yoshi's Island?
What the dog doing?